gigs whenever he's here. I do well on the track.
Okay, I mean,
stranger things, Stranger things.
No, I was just thinking, if that's the case, then why doesn't he take his dad with him everywhere?
Prices of hotels these days,
Okay, cool stuff. Drew, how's it going? I like the effect of the vape against the camera. It looks quite, because the algorithm is trying to actually like figure out what that is. It's like it does pixelation around your face. That's because I moved a little bit further away, so as I move closer, it will sound better. Lester, how you got? Lester,
yeah, not bad.
How you doing?
Yeah, man, living the dream as always.
Dude, but like, are you properly living the dream? Are you like?
Well, it's a nice way of saying this is a bloody nightmare.
Okay. Sorry, man. I'm still not used to the British sense of humor. Damn it. 15 years in the country, I'm still...
That's because there's too many American sitcoms on your TV.
That's true, that's true. And those guys are very direct. They're like, if it's bad, it's bad. If it's good, it's good. Drew, what's happening? That is awesome. That is awesome.
Lost the music. There it is.
Ooh, ooh.
Sorry. Come again?
I'm still trying to process it. I'm like, live. Okay, let's kick it off.
57 already. I mean, we're almost at 100. or to 6. It's about 7 weeks since episode 50. Yeah, I mean, yeah, checks out. Yeah.
Guys, you know what's unbelievable, right? Is that we're already slightly more than halfway through the year. And it's like a done deal. It's like, what just happened in the last 6 months?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm not sure what else I can add. It's come and gone. Another week.
Another week in paradise. No,
Gangster's Paradise.
So should we rename it to CP? Yeah, instead of GP. Yep. That's hectic stuff. Yeah, that's hectic stuff.
What was it the day before? I'm just having a look.
The poop is seriously hitting the all the fans.
21,000.
All the fans at the moment.
Jeez. But the death rate's not skyrocketing in parallel though. Similar numbers. Yeah, we had 27,000 yesterday and 27,000 the day before. But if you look at our death rate is low though, right? Well, a friend of mine, she's had both the vaccination doses, and she got tested positive this week.
Yeah, that's hectic. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to find. Yeah. Let loose. I was trying to find the stats I heard this week at the end of June, because there's certain countries we can go to, and there's certain we can't. A complete ban, and those you can go to, but you have to quarantine when you come back. And you have to go into quarantine hotels. It's not like just stay at home. So, what I was thinking, it sounds like a great holiday. Yeah. But I was trying to find the stats because I thought it said there was 100,000 people in quarantine hotels on the last day of June. I mean, it's good for the hotel industry, right? Yeah. That's just, yeah. How is the vaccination rollout working there? Yeah. Uh, and a fourth wave.
So can I ask you something very quickly, right? So how many waves do you think we're going to get to?
Well, it's infinite as long as you don't vaccinate. Well, the thing is, if you're vaccinated, from what I can see, if you get it, it's not going to kill you, or but it's not. It's just going to become like normal flu. You know, you get sick, you take a few days off, and then you go back to work.
I didn't get it. I didn't get it yet. No, I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to jinx it. Yeah.
Mm. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I look at, because it's summer here, so typically the UK send a lot of people. I say send people go from the UK all over Europe on their summer holidays, and we're talking millions of people. And a lot of those Greek islands and Spanish resort, they all rely on this influx of tourism, and it's not just the UK. The Germans go, the French go, everyone goes to these places. This is their summer break. So this year and last year, well, last year nothing was open, and a lot of businesses failed in those holiday destinations. This year, there's more options open, but they are so few and far between. But we're now getting to the point where those countries are so in need of this tourism that they are willing to take the risk. Again, the herd mentality, and just we'll just run with it. As much as the UK government is suggesting that people shouldn't travel unless it's an utmost urgency, people are still going on holiday, and this is why we've got so many people in these quarantine hotels. So I think this is going to carry on. We're also now there's a lot of press around, well, like there's summer, right? Summer here, so we have music festivals, we have Wimbledon, we've got the Euro football championships going on, and you can't social distance in these kind of events. So what the UK government is doing is experimenting, and they're allowing a few of these activities to continue, and they're measuring the outputs of that. So when England played Scotland a couple of weeks ago at Wembley, they allowed an X amount of percentage of fans into the stadium. And yes, the results were that there were several hundred Scottish fans that got COVID. But they're still weighing up the percentages, right? How many of those died? how many of those just ignored social distancing? How many of those wore masks? How many of these did X, Y, Z? So they're looking at all of this, and they're doing it across multiple events. The big one that's coming is the British Grand Prix. So just on the football, so every time they had a match, they allowed more people into that match, and then the next one they allowed more people into that one, and so it's growing. Wimbledon, you'll see a lot of people there. The British Grand Prix will be the biggest event we have this year, as far as fans allowed in, and I think it was like 125,000 people that were letting into Silverstone. But they're dispersing them around the grounds. They're not just putting them in the main stands. They are dispersing them. But again, it's the biggest concentrated area of people. So they'll measure that, and they'll just carry on. They'll keep getting these kind of results, and they'll keep taking various strategies. But at the moment, because of the vaccination rates and the death rates are still there, but significantly low, considering we're getting 27,000 new positive cases a day. We should be having death rates in the thousands, but we're not. So they are keen to get things back on. So we were supposed to have come out of our final lockdown measures a few weeks ago, and they had it extended until the 19th. And I suspect when we get closer to the 19th of July, because that's supposed to be it, no more restrictions anyway. But I suspect we're going to get to the point where they go, yeah, everything's scrapped, but you still have to wear face masks. You still can't go to those countries. You still can't do X, Y, Z. But as far as living and working, they'll just go, well, we'll leave it up to you now. We're happy with the measures we've taken, and we're ready to go with that herd mentality. Some people will get sick, some people will die, but statistically, it's going to be insignificant.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the thing, is that, I suppose in the South African context where you're not vaccinating everyone, or you're not rolling out the vaccines fast enough, that even though people are getting vaccinated and people have got it, I mean, the rest of us that haven't had it and survived, or haven't had the vaccines, we can be living like we're living now for a long, long time.
Yeah.
I mean, because like now, like all of a sudden, there are people, it's like all of a sudden very close to home. It's like people that are getting ill, people that are succumbing to it. All of a sudden, it just seems a lot closer than it was in the previous wave. And and I think it's the fact that people are succumbing to it, people that or friends of friends that are succumbing to it. I think that's what's hitting hard. Now, all of a sudden, I'm thinking, well, as much as I want to get out of the house, cabin fever and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, it's not worth it, dude.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Especially taking into account your delicate age.
Yeah, my delicate age.
Top of that bell curve.
Yeah. Well, at least I'm not in the 30 to 40s.
If life goes back to normal,
yeah.
Are you talking just about work? You're not going to go back to work the way you were working
no, well,
before.
No, listen,
I'm just thinking. I was just thinking other things that keep cropping up, like weddings.
No. I'm thinking in the case of my bloody James Bond movie. No, I'm joking.
That you swore you're never going to watch. Yeah.
Well, because I'm probably not going to watch it because it's never going to come out.
It's coming out,
and I suppose also the thing about who's going to be the next James Bond. Well, they don't really have to decide that until they have to make another movie.
Well, it's going to be so long, the person hasn't been born yet.
Exactly. Something like that, yeah. Okay, going back to the thing. Look, I mean, I think the reality is from a work point of view, I think things have changed forever. I mean, if you don't have to go to the office, you don't go to the office, right? But I'm talking about from a social aspect. It's one thing working from home and trying your best to balance your work life at home and all that kind of stuff. But after a while, you need to change the scenery. Even though, I mean, we're lucky here in South Africa, we all got decent sized gardens and we can go walk around our garden and, and our weather in winter is not that crap, so we can still walk around in our gardens. But after a while, it's just like, even that is just like, I just need to change the scenery. And like, you've been to the same shop every day, you know, like every time you go to the shop, you go to the same shop and you're in and out as quickly as you can. It's not like you're going to the mall to window shop, or, you know, you're going to go to the park to go lie, you know, have a picnic, or, you know, or whatever it is, go grab a cup of coffee, you know, climb on your bike, go have a breakfast run or whatever. We can't do that.
No, you're right. Can't do that.
And I mean, we can't do that now because of the restriction. But even when it opens up again a little bit, you're still going to be in the back of your mind. You know, you're going to be thinking about those people that you know that got it, that didn't make it. And you're like thinking, well, okay, I know it's a little bit open and I can actually go to a restaurant, but do I really want to? And I suppose it's not great.
Yeah, people have given up, right? They're just going back to what they think is normal. They're not wearing masks anymore. They don't care about social distancing.
Yeah.
People have moved on mentally because they can't. You can't. Well, they're just sick of it, fed up with being told what to do and being by corrupt politicians. They just they don't believe all this nonsense anymore.
Well, look, the thing is that I think that's the kind of thing that's happened here in South Africa as well. I think people have, like, you know, there was the second wave, things like, you know, eased up a bit, things were not as bad as they were, and, you know, like, everyone's become a little bit complacent, people going out a little bit more and whatever, they, like you say, they've had enough, you know, they're going to carry on with their life. And then all of a sudden things start spiking, and then you start hearing about people that you know, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, you know, dial it in again. And then it just makes me think about, like, what's the future? What's the future?
You know what the future's like. Masks, sanitizer. That's staying with us for a long time. It's not just, you know, it's not just, you know, going away anytime soon.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just my take and I'm wrong. Maybe in 2 years' time we'll look at this and say, oh, well, you know.
Well, listen, I hope things go back to at least some sort of like normal, where we can, you know, go and travel and go out and socialize and all that kind of stuff, because it is getting a bit heavy now. Because, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I mean, the last 2 weeks for me work-wise have been so hectic. It's just been a drag, you know, just like, you know, like things come in waves, and, you know, it was quite a big wave the last 2 weeks. Like now I decided, okay, I'm going to take 2 days leave, and Monday and Tuesday I'm going to take off just to clear my head and just, you know, just have a bit of a break. But it's not as if I can climb on my bike and go down to Clarence for the weekend, because that's not the smart thing to do, you know.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right.
How prevalent is testing there, testing kits? How easy is it?
Well, look, I mean, you've got to, I mean, if you're doing it privately, you've got to go to a pathology lab, so like Empath or Lancet or whatever it is.
And it costs quite a bit.
Well, look, I mean, I've had a couple, and I've had one done via the company, and two done via the private labs, and I mean, fortunately, our medical aid covers it.
I'm just thinking on my side. So I got picked at random as part of the government's statistics and surveying goes. So I got picked at random, sent a test kit, a self-test kit through the post.
Right.
And so I followed the instructions, and I sent, or the courier came to pick up the test sample, and then
in
they
his
let me know.
hazmat suit.
No, it's just a normal courier who's got this cooler box.
Yes.
And then 24 hours later, I knew what the result was, and then now I'm statistic. Okay.
Yeah.
But I just thought this week. So in the last few weeks, you can get home self-test kits here. You can get them for free. And so you can test it. I did this one this week because a friend of mine got tested positive, and I needed to double check.
Yeah.
And we use them at work as well. If you want to go between sites, in one of our sites, we actually have four buildings now in the one town across, so the different parts of town. We can't go to control any outbreak, we don't have staff that goes between those buildings. In normal times, they would have. But we're now getting to the point where we need to. So if there is an utmost need to get people to move between buildings, then they have to do one of these tests, and in 30 minutes, you know the result. So that's become quite a norm now.
But what sort of tests are those, Lester? Are they PCR tests? In other words, the full test, or are they antibody tests? Like to test whether you've had it or not?
No. It's just saying whether you've got it at that point of time.
Okay, so a PCR test, yeah.
Yeah, it's a PCR test.
Mm.
And that's it.
Wow.
And this is becoming quite common in high schools. You know, teachers are doing this like on a daily basis. I think my niece, who's a nurse in London, I think she's doing these like on a regular basis.
Mm.
So the testing volume, and if maybe I should have a quick look at those stats. The UK, as of yesterday, had done test 214 million tests. So that's 3.1 million per million people. So that's 3 tests, 3.1 tests per person.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that's not going to slow down because these tests are everywhere. People are testing almost daily. That's just going to get exponentially bigger. Let's have a look at South Africa. South Africa tests per million, 200,000, 220,000. 13 million tests done. So I think you're going to start seeing a bit more of that, I would have thought. That these home test kits are available because you can't, yeah. I've got a stag weekend. I've got a bachelor weekend of activities coming up in a few weeks' time.
Yeah,
and it's go-karting, and it's quad biking, and it's drunken revelry with 20 people. I haven't been out with 20 people in a long time. Now, I went, yeah, I'll be there. Bang, let's have a cracking weekend. Woohoo, haven't seen these guys in ages. 5 minutes later, I'm thinking, what have I done? Should I be doing this?
Yeah.
I don't know where this helmet's been. Let alone the people.
But have you been? But you said you've been vaccinated already.
Yeah, I have my second jab on this Wednesday coming.
Okay. So theoretically, excuse me, you shouldn't be too worried. Theoretically.
Yeah, by the time the stag thing comes around, the country's restrictions would have lifted. Right. At the moment, we can do stuff indoors with 5 other people, and outdoors with groups up to 30 or something. I think sometimes it's bigger depending on the event. Mm-hmm. And all that goes away. They'll be unlimited by the time I go. So it's free for all by then. But we're now vaccinating kids, right? I think we're gone down to 12. You can go to a mall and get vaccinated. I mean, there's just the volume of vaccinations going on, and this is what they're pushing for. The adverts all over radio, going, just, get in there. They're making it kind of cool thing, going, go with your friends, go and get it done. Get your kids stabbed. Go on, let them go off. But the sheer volume of it, like, you can't go to the sporting events unless you've shown that you've had both vaccinations, and there's still random sampling happening in the queue as you go into the stadiums. Every highway services, not highway, quite a few of the main highway services, because we have a lot of trucks that go across the UK and across Europe. That's still going on. It always has been. But they've got, as you pull into these highway services, they've got testing stations there. They've got vaccination areas there. It's everywhere. They're just trying to get as much done as fast as possible.
But I think your entire infrastructure at the moment is being ramped up. Well, it's already most likely ramped up to do this sort of massive testing on a huge scale. So, your approach to handling this is, UK's approach to handling this is basically to do as much testing as possible and to let people know if they tested positive, if you tested positive. Isolate, quarantine yourself, do the right thing, type of thing.
I don't think this is going to stop, because there will be more variants, right? more aggressive variants.
Yeah.
And they gotta keep looking at this. They can't just go, well, everyone's vaccinated, it's fine. They have to keep monitoring the situation to see what the impact of the latest variant is. So I don't think that's going to go away for a few years.
Yeah. So what's the deal with this Delta variant that's come out now? You were talking about it last week.
Spreads faster.
Let's see what's happening.
Apparently,
there.
it affects a lot more younger people.
Yeah. The 30 to 40s, eh?
Yeah, the 30 to 40s. Yeah, don't point fingers now.
Okay, let's see what the NICD says here in South Africa about the yeah.
I'm just watching the news feed, and I can see like every day South Africa sets a new record of daily COVID cases, and it's like that's a rolling headline for the last week.
Yeah, but we're behind the UK in terms of infections.
Yeah, slightly, but we're not doing as much testing as they are. So I think.
And you're trying to say?
I'm not.
You're saying that our number could be double.
Our number could be triple.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing is, like in the UK, Lester, in terms of testing and all that kind of stuff, do they have testing campaigns, or is it, you go tested when you feel that you need to be tested?
Yeah, I think they're just encouraging it now. Whereas before it used to be, you got to have a reason to get tested.
Yeah. And I mean, because like for instance, imagine if you've got the vaccine, not you specifically, but I'm saying in general, a person's got the vaccine, and they feel like they're getting a bit of flu. We assume that if you've got the vaccine, it's not going to affect you as badly. So you might just think that you've got a common cold, or you've got like normal seasonal flu. It doesn't materialize into anything serious.
Drastic. Yeah.
Do you go get tested?
I think now I would.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, but are people doing that?
I think
because like they can think, well, I've had the vaccine, I'm feeling a little bit off color, I'll stay home for a day or two.
Yeah, they won't. No,
they don't get tested.
No. Well,
whereas I think in South Africa,
it depends on the situation, because some people, if you're off sick, you don't get paid. So people, why would they? They just go, well, I've just got a cold, I've just got hay fever, I'm fine. I have it every year, and they still got to work. They don't want to be booked off sick because they will lose money.
So, and if you have COVID and you can't come to work from perspective of spreading it, do they get paid?
Well, it depends on the employment contract. There's a lot of 0-hour contracts, which means no work, no pay.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just looking at this friend of mine, the one who's had had both vaccinations, and this week got tested positive. Her husband now has to stay at home and self-isolate, even if he tests negative.
Sure.
And so both of them are sitting there going, well, this is a 10-day period where I don't get paid. This is not cool.
That's not cool. Yeah, that's tough.
But it's the right thing to do, because you don't want to go and take it back to work and infect somebody else. Then you get reinfected like 3 weeks later, because it just never goes away. Everyone's in the same boat. And it's
that type of thing would actually drive the culture of the fact that people would try to skip testing and skip knowing. So even if they suspect that they have COVID, they will still, if they're under financial pressure, go to work and pass it on.
It's that atmosphere of, statistically, I'll survive. It might be rubbish. I might get it badly. I've been vaccinated, so I'm probably going to survive. So don't care anymore. Let's just get on with it.
Sure. Yeah. Anyway, onto
Actually, I'll tell you one good thing this week.
Yeah.
The technology that's come about since COVID times has been awesome.
Okay.
And one of the things the UK has is they've got lots of beaches. There's some nice beaches and there's some rubbish beaches. So a lot of people concentrate on the nice beaches. All right. So when a sunny day comes out, suddenly you've got 100,000 people crammed onto a beach. So they've got to stop this. So they're like, it's got to the point where people who don't care are happy to go and squeeze themselves onto a busy beach. They don't care. But there are people who do care, who do want to go to a beach and want a social distance on the beach. So we now have an app that does it for us. You can actually go on the app and see the actual concentration of people
on the beach.
On the beach.
So how does that app work? Do you know? How do they
know
how many people on the beach?
I think that people need to share their location in order for the app to know. So like you need to share your location because otherwise it's like you need to have some sort of active method of beach surveillance like drones and stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say they're using those spy satellites from Russia or from.
That would be an overkill though for an app.
So you've got to think there's a ton of surveillance in this country. CCTV is everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Like you got 20 different camera versions on every square meter, just about. So they're probably picking up a lot of that data, analyzing it from CCTV. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, who developed the app? Is it a council?
Funded.
Is it government funded? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, how do you get access to their TV? As a private person, how would you? If I wanted to develop that,
well, no, you don't get specific data. Your app will just give you sort of heat sensors on beaches.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is, like, if I was the one that was developing the app, I came up with the idea for the app. How would I get access to that CCTV to do the analytics?
No, with data protection, you wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah. Talking about data protection
and facial recognition.
And facial recognition, yeah. So talking about that, so the Poppy Act is kicked in here in South Africa on the 1st of July.
I've been spammed for the entire week with Poppy Act emails. Like
exactly.
Out of every single spot.
Me too.
WhatsApp, email, SMSs, every single possible medium of communication that they use to distribute this Poppy Act. They've distributed. I think in the last week I've seen it like 25 times at least.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is, right, that this Poppy Act actually came into law in 2013, right? A year ago they said they're giving people another year's grace to implement it, right? So that's like, no unsolicited email or communications or that kind of stuff is one of the big things. And everyone leaves it until the last week before the 1st of July 2021 to like check with you. Is it okay that I still send you this email?
It's a cultural thing, it's a South African thing. Luckily, they did leave it for the last possible day, so all that communication didn't come like in one go.
Yeah.
It was the same here. It was the same in the US when they did theirs.
Yes.
That last week was just an abundance of people ramping up. Oh, by the way, this is just so you know, this is how we protect your data.
Yeah.
If I don't hear back from you, we take that as you're okay with us. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I was thinking about companies like
Checkbox.
About Facebook and Google and all that kind of stuff with them gathering a lot of data on us. I mean, have you seen any communications from Google or Facebook that?
I was thinking Microsoft. I didn't get any notifications from our operating system about the Poppy Act.
No, I'm just wondering but I mean, I suppose they can argue that the data that they're collecting about you specifically is theoretically anonymous, right? Even though they know who you are because you're a number. But if someone was to hack the system, theoretically, that big data set that they have about where you've been and so on and so on is actually anonymized. Right?
Sort of. Like everything is beautiful in theory.
No, but that's what I'm asking. I'm asking the question: Why is it that I haven't got an email from Google or Facebook or whoever that does? We know they capture data based on us, based on our search history and the things
No
that
way.
we like
No
on
way. Instagram.
Have you considered that their standard terms and conditions are already factor this in because they've learned from what's happened elsewhere in the world around data protection aspects?
Yeah, sure, I understand that. But I mean, I'm just saying. But maybe they
Yeah.
have done it and we just haven't realized it, because I suppose every time you go to a website, it asks you, if you've never been there before, it'll ask you, do you accept the whole cookies thing? Yeah. So is that the deal there? And I mean, we just all say, yeah, okay, that's cool, and click OK.
Yeah, that is annoying.
And I mean, the other thing is that, like,
it's gone
say
from
no.
a point where people are like, they want you to go on their website, they want you to use the service. Now
Yes.
it's got to the point where I go, accept cookies, and there's a big block, half your screen's gone. You have no choice, accept or not. If you don't accept, you can't access what you need. The tide has turned. We have no choice.
Yes, it's like blackmail, in a way. I want access to
you
this.
You actually do have a choice, but the problem is to be anonymous on the net it requires effort from your side and requires some technical know-how. So it's not I wouldn't say an average person would go through the effort of anonymizing its web traffic by bouncing it around some sort of onion network. It's like, it's just too much butter and slows down your connection, and it's like, it's a lot of effort.
Yeah. Anyway,
like
so it's
the whole
interesting.
VPN thing, right? Sorry, but like the whole VPN thing. So it makes sense from a personal perspective. So you're basically outsourcing that anonymity to VPN. So all your traffic goes via the VPN. So all the service providers basically see your entry point as the VPN's location and let's just say, don't know anything about you, right? But the VPN handles all the data. So you basically outsource responsibility from all the service providers that want to track you. Let's just say that. It's just called internet websites and service providers. And you gave all that responsibility to your VPN. And you say, okay, I trust you, I trust you, you won't give my data or tell which websites I browse to anyone else. It's like, that's it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that you trusting that the VPN service you're using is not collecting your data.
Yeah. Well, you're not just trusting that they're not collecting that data, you're trusting also the fact that they're not passing that data on to other parties.
Exactly. And I mean, so you just move the problem from one place to another.
Yeah, you move the problem from one place to another and you pay.
Yeah, and those people that you are, and I mean, I think this is going to go back to the whole cryptocurrency discussion.
It will. It's definitely will.
Yeah, you've just said, I'm going to use a service that allows me to run around anonymously. But when something goes wrong there, how do I hold them accountable? Oh shit! Hang on a second. They're not regulated, so I can't. If I go to the authorities are going to tell me they can't help me.
They're not even based in the same country where you're operating from.
No,
just because they have a server, like a VPN server, let's just say in Johannesburg, it doesn't mean that the company is actually registered and based in South Africa. It could be based, I don't know, like in Kazakhstan,
or Russia,
or like I don't know.
Yeah, no,
Iceland. Let's just pick a neutral country.
Yeah. Pick a country where there's no like jurisdiction from the country that you're browsing from.
Yeah, Iceland. Like Icelandic people don't have a beef with anyone, so it's fine.
Yeah. So anyway, well, I suppose it's this whole poppy thing does change things, but also I hope people take the opportunity to untick that box, because I think a lot of people are just going to say, okay.
So you've
And
been
then once you've
religiously
done that, you can't
unsubscribing.
complain. Sorry, say that again, Oleg.
So you've been religiously unsubscribing.
Yeah, I have actually. I've
Okay.
actually been unsubscribing from a lot of the services for a long time now, because my flippin' email boxes, every time I look, there's like 2,000 unread emails in there.
You got 2,000 unread emails.
Well, yeah, let me tell you. Okay, I'll go to my Google. No, I'll go to
You know, Leslie, you know what I can guarantee? I can guarantee there's a Nigerian prince somewhere wondering why Andrew doesn't want to take his money.
Yeah.
Did you hear the news a few weeks ago where this Nigerian prince died and they found millions of dollars in his palace? And it's such a sad story because for years he's been trying to give it away.
Nobody wants it.
Yeah, right. Okay, here's the lowdown.
yeah.
In my Gmail account, I have 7,356 unread emails.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah. Are you sure it's your Gmail account?
Which
and not
Google
your
is
work
now
account?
mining to see what your habits are.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Did you, I mean, but Google does do that, hey? That they scan your emails for sentiment. You know, they want to get the sort of like,
Interesting.
you know, what's the mood like? I mean, that's pretty scary, yeah.
Do you know how
Yeah,
many?
every email is sent at 6:30 on a Monday morning tends to be in a firm tone, aggressive
Yeah.
tone. But everything on a Friday afternoon is all relaxed and happy.
Yes.
Do you know how many unread emails I have?
How many?
0.
Is that where in
What?
your Google?
Every single email account across
Okay.
every
no.
single email account I own.
No.
Well, that's good. Well, I've got 5 email accounts.
Also, like, let me
And-
tell you, because I have them all in one space: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So how do you
It
do
does-
that, dude?
That's excluding my work mail. So
How do
my
you
work mail-
do that? Give us some tips.
So basically what I do is I try to use like one central platform where I manage all my mail from, and I just create filters. And based on the filters, like if it's marketing material, it will just go into like marketing material folder, right? And then
And you
I
just delete it, or what do you do?
I will quickly browse through the headlines and see whether anything was misclassified, and generally 99.9% it doesn't. And then I would basically just select all, delete, boom, like
Oh,
once
there
a
you
week.
go.
Select all.
So,
delete,
I mean,
boom,
the
once a
reality
week.
is that you're not reading them.
I'm scanning through the headlines. Like I would scan
Also
through the
delete.
headlines just to see if, you know, like I'm missing out on any Nigerian prince trying to donate millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Or winning a lottery in the US that I've never entered.
Yeah.
I currently have across all my email boxes 14,000 unread messages.
And the winner is.
And the winner is.
And the winner
Yeah.
is. Well
My
done,
work
Lester.
inbox has nearly
Clap it in,
50,000
boy.
emails in it.
Unread.
I lost track of it some time ago. You can tell.
Oh, shit.
Unread.
Yeah, like you eventually
Lester,
just give up.
unread.
I could have won the lottery. I don't know.
Plenty times. Plenty times. So
I could be a Nigerian prince. Yeah.
So, but the key thing is just to select like a mail application that you want to manage your mail through. So I'm using Thunderbird. It's a free open source app,
yeah.
and it's got a lot of like useful plugins, but it's finicky, right? So I wouldn't recommend it. Like if you value your time, right? Like if you don't want to spend time just setting everything up, right? Using something like EM Client is really good, like to managing tons of email accounts, but you need to go for the paid version.
Yeah, sure.
I don't like Outlook. I don't like Outlook personally, like because it's like it's got a very corporate feel to it, you know. And
Yeah.
I have Outlook on my work laptop, but like that's pretty much it.
But I mean, have you used the mail program that comes with Windows?
Yeah, I did. I just don't find it like I find it good, for a person that just wants to read and reply mail, but like I do slightly more with my mails, so I don't find the functionality in that program sufficient.
Sufficient, yeah.
Yeah.
Geez, I can't remember. I think I used, Thunderbird. I used back in the days when I was only running Linux at home.
Yeah, Thunderbird. I like Thunderbird. It's a really good project. Unfortunately, it's still like a 32-bit application. But like in terms of open source, it's really cool because there's a lot of like add-ons that could improve your productivity with the mail, like mail filtering and just searching through tons and tons of mails. Like I like Thunderbird because like my major thing why I like Thunderbird is I can find what I need very quickly across all the email accounts. Like even if I don't remember exactly what I'm looking for, I can still find it pretty quickly.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Maybe I must check it out again. So I haven't played with that for a while. Talking about new things, you see Windows 11 is starting to roll out.
Yeah. So there's some interesting points about Windows 11. I don't know if you guys actually like looked into it or heard much about it. So I watched a couple of guys like playing around with Windows 11, and overall there's been a very positive feedback from the like testing community. So the only thing that people complain about is limitation in hardware support in terms of like it's not going to really support legacy hardware, like anything older than like 5 years.
Yeah.
So that's what people are complaining about at the moment. But otherwise, it's been really positive feedback in terms of like how they changing the UI interface and the whole functionality and ability to run actually Android apps in the shell. You know,
but that's not available yet, though.
No, it's not. It's not. And I'm pretty sure it's and the whole the beta is gonna drop for testing for sure very soon. If it's not already available, I'm not sure. But like the final version, most likely end of the year.
Yeah, they said end of November.
That.
End of November. Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually running Windows 11.
You serious?
Yeah.
Right now.
Yep.
And?
Well, no, it's pretty good. I'm still playing around with it in the sense of some of the features that it's got. I'm trying to set the stuff up there. You can have multiple desktops. Like in Linux, you can have multiple desktops.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that in those multiple desktops, you could have different icons pinned to the bottom bar.
Yeah.
And, shortcuts on the desktop, but I couldn't. It seemed like it used the same shortcuts from each the same shortcuts on each desktop. Every time I created a new desktop, it still had the same shortcuts there, and so on. So, I heard that you could have one desktop for social and another desktop for work, and so I must just see how to set that up. The other one problem that I did have is that running two monitors was causing an issue.
You serious?
Yeah, it kept on disconnecting from losing connection. The monitors kept on losing connection.
That is weird.
Yeah,
it's really weird.
Yeah, so I found a workaround for that.
But overall, would you say it's faster? It feels more responsive. It feels more fluid.
Yeah, it seems okay. I mean, obviously, it's the first release, so we're probably going to have a couple of more releases before November. And, it's pretty cool. I mean, I like you can, like how you can pin your windows like to the left and the right of the screen. You can have like two running like that. You can actually do it in different orientations now. And they've got so when you go onto the maximize button, it'll give you various options, and it'll say, side by side, this one bigger than that one, one like this and two like that, or 4 blocks, or 3 next to one another like that. It's pretty cool. I find that useful because
I can ask you, what's your take on like on this aspect of them making Windows 11 free and Windows 10 essentially? Like, what do you think they're going with it?
Well, put it this: well, Windows 10 was also free. If you had Windows 7, you could get Windows 10 for free.
Yeah.
And they're following the same process. I suppose along the way you've got a legal version of Windows. They're just giving you free upgrades. So, I mean, a lot of software has gone that way. I suppose you've got to ask yourself the question: where does Microsoft make its money these days? Because a lot of their things they've made available for free. Like you take Visual Studio as an example.
Selling your data.
Well, possibly. But I mean, just like Visual Studio as an example, back in the day, you actually had to buy it, right? And then slowly but surely they would, then they brought out the Community Edition. But then the Community Edition, you could do very, very little with it. And now, if you compare the Community Edition versus the Enterprise Edition, the Enterprise Edition has got very, very little stuff extra. And the kind of stuff that it has extra is really for proper enterprise kind of development and so on. So, I mean, the Community Edition of Visual Studio, which normally you would have had to pay, you can practically do everything that you want as a developer. Yeah, so, and like also Windows, I mean, they're not really saying that you have to buy Windows every time you upgrade. Microsoft Office, I mean, you can use the free version of Microsoft Office. You just create yourself, and this is probably where you get to the data issue, Lester, is that you can use Excel, Word, and all that online for free. You don't have to pay for it. You just have a Windows account. And there you go.
I thought there was a monthly subscription for all that.
No.
For the use of Office.
No.
I think you're confusing Office 365 with like an online version of Office. Office 365. I think everyone's moved to Office 365 anyway, Andrew.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is, if I've got a Windows account, I've got a Windows email address, like a Windows Live email address.
Yeah.
I can use Excel and Word in there for free.
I
don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, you are right. I do have, me personally, I have an O365 account because what I did is I subscribed to that. I get 1 terabyte worth of cloud space on OneDrive, and I get Office for free. Well, Office for free. I pay for it $100 a month. Five users. I think it's $120. 5 users on there. Each one of them has got 1 terabyte of data. Each one of them can run Office. It's the family plan.
Yeah.
Condoms included for free.
So
like virus protection.
So the question is, where does Microsoft make their money from?
Office 365.
Office 365, Azure, and then consulting services.
There's so many different parts to Microsoft these days.
Teams.
There's the Office, there's the OS, there's Azure.
Teams.
But I mean, do you think it's got
then
to like
games? Then you got LinkedIn. It's part
of
Microsoft.
You get LinkedIn. Yeah. What?
There's so many different divisions now.
Yeah.
Don't forget the gaming side's big as well.
Fair enough. Yeah. You got the Xbox, the games. But I mean, do you think it's got into that model where it's a subscription model, and that the big boys are paying for the small people? It's like a medical aid, like everyone's contributing.
Or a pyramid scheme.
Or a pyramid scheme. Something like that. Yeah.
So
use
guys,
our software and get free crypto.
So guys, it's like like just switching the topic. What's happening in the crypto space?
Well, I was trying to find out some more information on these boys that were naughty. I mean, they're claiming that they didn't steal the money. The reason why they've disappeared is because they've had death threats.
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, no. And then
I was just going to say, all the articles I've been reading recently on these two guys, if you look at the pictures of the two boys, they don't smile. I mean,
Yeah.
they.
So what you're saying is they
they've
don't
actually
look
got a
rich.
few they just look like grumpy bastards. So yeah, they're not going to get a lot of support just because of their PR exercise failing.
But look, like I don't know if you saw like that article that I posted. I mean, like in South Africa, a lot of people that run some of the underworld activities would obviously try to pull some of their financial flows through crypto, right? So there's apparent news that those guys ripped some of those people off, and those people are not the type of people that you want to rip off. And apparently, like regardless where you go, they will make utmost effort to get to you, even in UK.
Yeah.
If I was going to hide, I wouldn't hide in the UK.
Like, how can you hide in the UK?
You can't.
With your CCTV camera coverage.
Well, I suppose there's a bit of speculation. They said they might be in Dubai as well.
Again, I wouldn't hide in Dubai.
Yeah, like Dubai, man. It's like.
Well, I mean, the Guptas have been in Dubai for the last couple of years.
Yeah, but we know where they are.
Yeah, and we can't do anything about it.
Well, people are just biding their
although
time,
South Africa is currently signing a extradition agreement with Dubai.
Okay,
for the purposes of.
But we're talking about the underworld organizations now have a thing for these two brothers. That's why they're scared.
Yeah.
And the point is they can't hide.
Yeah. Well, in Dubai they can't hide. Yeah.
I think the only option is North Korea at the moment.
Or some cave in Afghanistan.
I don't think even in Afghanistan.
All those caves are full of Marines these days. No, let's not start spreading rumors.
There is one interesting thing about this whole AfriCrypt thing. Is that there was an article that said lightning strikes twice for the KG brothers. Okay. And the sub headline there was that this is not the first time their crypto scheme had been hacked. So it looks like this is not the first time that they've.
So they say.
Well, yeah. Well, apparently there's some stories that are coming out that saying there's some people that invested with them previously had the same situation. Money disappeared, system hacked, same kind of email communication that came out the first time and the second time. Similar wording, same kind of thing. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts is that they're no longer our problem.
They're no longer our problem.
It's starting to smell like there's more going on here than meets the eye.
Well, and I mean, there was also another story.
We reacted to a press article about these guys skipping the country with loads of value that they've taken from. That's a great newspaper story, and we bought into that. But I don't think that's the whole story.
Yeah.
I want to see what else comes out in the next few weeks.
So, I mean, there was another story that they might be linked to a global or an international syndicate. I mean, I suppose people are just like throwing shit against the wall and hoping it's going to stick.
Yeah. Are you talking about that? What's that? Like global fund? Charity fund?
Which one?
I'll tell you now.
Okay.
The Bearded Fen Foundation.
Thank you. I'm going to have to bleep that out. Because you know what happens. Once it's out on the internet, you can't take it back.
Or you quickly go and create a foundation.
Yeah. And legitimize it.
Yeah, absolutely.
How? But how? Yeah.
Wow. Get the right press articles.
It's part of. Do you think it's part of the white spiritual boy trust schemes?
I don't know.
Have you heard about that?
No.
No, I can already hear the tone in your voice, though.
The white spiritual boy WSB trust, which claims to be based in Singapore, right? There's a lot of things going around about this trust possibly be like a global part of global scam scheme. It was pretty interesting story. I'm not going to go into details because it's going to take too long to explain it, and it's pretty elaborate. But I'll send some links.
Yeah.
But you guys haven't heard about it, like in South African context.
No. Let's save that for next week.
Okay.
Save it. Okay. For the next episode.
Hey, I just remembered I didn't do a Trump thing today.
Oh, well, you can do it right now, dude. The
So-
Trumpism.
Yeah, the Trumpism of today. So this is a Donald Trump tweet, and he was saying, "People are going crazy with my comments on Diet Coke. Let's face it, this stuff just doesn't work. It makes you hungry."
Really?
It's like, okay,
Really? That's
it doesn't
interesting.
work. Is it supposed to be a diet drink? I think you've missed the point, Donald. Oh dear.
What do you think, that it was going to suppress his appetite or what?
I can only read between the lines and suggest that is true.
Come on, hit us with another one, man.
Yeah. Give us some like really juicy stuff to finish this episode with.
Was that tweet that you just read us, was that on this day last year or what?
No, actually, what was the date? That was October.
Can you give us something about fake news?
Oh, mate, half of this is about fake news.
Yeah, that whole thing is fake news.
I mean, this is all fake news. Not real tweets. Oh, Oleg, you know we're playing football tonight.
Yeah, I know, and I know who you're playing.
It's a little quarter-final match between the Ukraine and England in Rome tonight.
Ooh.
This is after England has beaten Germany this week for the first time in a major tournament in 55 years.
Yo.
So what's your prediction? Like, what's your prediction for the scoreline? I do think Ukraine doesn't have a good chance of winning, just based on how much they struggled with Sweden.
I think England will win, but here's the catch: there's quite a few yellow cards in the England team.
Yeah.
And if if a lot of those play and get another yellow card, that means they miss the semi-finals. So they need to save their top players. So I suspect we won't have the full A team, which means these guys haven't played together yet, which means there is going to be issues in the defense. So it could be interesting.
You think so? So you think it could even swing the other way?
No, I still think it's going to win 2-0.
No, I'm thinking more along the lines of 2-1. 2-1. That would be my prediction.
But hang on, England hasn't let a goal in like 9 matches.
Yeah. This is going to be it, man. This is going to be it.
This is it. Ukraine's going to spoil the stats.
Yeah.
On other news, I
geez, I was
Hamilton
just going to
has
go
signed
make
a
some
Mercedes
coffee.
contract.
Huh?
What's that?
I was just about to go make some coffee. I was falling asleep there.
Listen.
No, you looked excited. He's rooting for the UK. I mean, like, he's going to get his T-shirt out today.
What T-shirt? I'll have to make one.
So here's some other news. Hamilton signs new Mercedes
I
contract.
saw that. Fuck.
You saw that. Of course you did. You probably got it in your 2,000 emails this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the
one's
one that you
prioritized.
read.
That's the one he did read.
No, that's the one that's prioritized.
And he got it from 6 different sources.
Yeah, exactly. Including my daughter. But
Alright.
there's a positive and a negative to that. Okay? I was hoping that he was just going to move on. Right? Because I'm tired of the whinging palm, right? Secondly, I suppose the positive is that he can stay and Max can whip his ass and show him who actually is the best driver.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, that's me. I'll keep quiet now.
Oleg's fallen asleep.
No. No.
Have you
Look,
watched the whole series yet, Oleg?
Yeah. I watched the first 2 seasons. I haven't watched the third season.
The third one's the best one.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I know. But this was gonna happen, man. Like, the writing was on the wall because, like, what else are they gonna do, man?
What do you mean?
Like who else are they gonna sign up? Or
What
promote?
for in place of Hamilton?
Yeah,
That's easy. George Russell.
true. But like, you need to understand that these guys are not thinking just purely from the driving decision or winning even the championship, right? They're thinking from the marketing decision, right? So from the marketing decision, it's like, it's no brainer. You'd want to put,
Hamilton
in the
Hamilton
driving
in-
seat, yeah.
Yeah.
You want to ride that PR as much as you can.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing is, I was hoping that Hamilton. I mean, forget about what Mercedes wants. I was hoping that Hamilton was happy to move on, and what do they always say when a high profile person moves on from a company? He's going to explore what's personal interest or something.
No. It's spending time with family, guys. Get it right.
Yeah, spending time with family. Yeah, his dog. Yeah.
But look. Think about it this way, right? Like, at this stage of his life, right? He wants to like make as much money as it's humanly possible. It's understandable.
Yeah, but I mean, he could
Mercedes
still.
also want to make as much money as possible.
Yeah, but the thing is,
So that's where the synergies lie. Everyone wants to make as much money as possible from this deal. So they have a really good understanding.
yeah, but the thing is, but don't. They haven't come out with the numbers for his thing. But the problem is that they've got a budget cap now. Mm-hmm. So the increase in how much he gets paid, he's probably getting paid less.
Yeah.
Than he's getting paid now for the next 2 years.
I don't think so, dude. Like, I think he's.
It's definitely not more than he's getting paid now. That I can tell you for sure.
You think so?
Well, because they've got budget caps now. They've already implemented the budget caps for this year.
Is there any way that they can like maneuver around that with like endorsements that are?
Well, look, I mean, he already gets a large number of endorsements anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing is, like Mercedes, like salary in his pocket from Mercedes is definitely not going up next year.
Okay.
It's not about the money though. It's not about the money.
Well, I suppose when you're already earning 50 million,
listen, I think
from the team.
No, he's in a tax haven. It's not about the money. But it depends how much he's going to invest in his rap career, which is an interesting one.
Yes.
Is it going to be competing with the big G's in the game?
Oh yeah, he's already rubbing shoulders with all of them.
Okay.
Yeah. In the last few years, you notice his hairstyles. As soon as he got closer to the music, suddenly his hairstyles changed a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be good for the sport, though. I went off Formula One in the Schumacher years. I was like, I can't be bothered watching this. It's monotonous. It's boring now.
Yeah.
And I think we've got to that point. It's too one-sided. We need a break.
Yeah.
We need something else going on. Verstappen is challenging it. Well, I don't know. Maybe next season. I always say this a lot. Maybe next season, where some of the the engineering catches up in some of the other teams.
Yeah.
I think that could be interesting. And a mixture of all these young drivers they've got coming. Now it's become a bit more of a level playing field.
Yeah. So
the cool thing with Formula One. I'm sorry to pitch in there. Andrew, is like
cool hang on. Did you say there's something cool about Formula One?
No. The cool thing is about the Formula One is that there's like the younger dudes on the block actually stand a better chance of winning. Just purely because their reaction time is better, their just physical ability to concentrate is better. So eventually you're going to reach the stage as a good driver, even if you like really good experience and have a really good team behind you, you're going to reach the stage where it's like, just don't cut it anymore. You're not as quick as it used to be. You're not as responsive.
Sure.
You know, so, and with F1, you know, I mean, like, that threshold, I'm pretty sure it's higher than soccer.
But a lot of it is experience now. Did I tell you the story about Jenson Button in McLaren and his McLaren days?
No.
So they've got a simulator there, which because they can't test a lot of the upgrades on the car, they do it in simulators back in the factory. So the drivers actually use the simulator to get their, you know, get refreshed about the upcoming circuits that they're racing. But so they asked Jenson Button, and the drivers only get a small percentage of time on the simulator. The rest is about testing the upgrades. But anyway, so they said to Jenson Button, dude, you've got this, I forget, it was either Canada or Melbourne, I can't remember which. You've got this Grand Prix coming up. You need to get your eye in for this track. He's like, I know, I've done it for so many years. I know this track. I don't need to do this. Don't worry, guys. Use it for something else. And they're like, no, you've got to do it. So he's like, okay, I'll tell you what. Blindfold me and I'll do it. And he did. They blindfolded him. And he finished without crashing.
Yep.
And then he did it without the blindfold. And there was 0.3 of a second difference between the two.
Yeah.
He
I can
raced it
imagine.
from memory.
I can imagine. Because the thing is, like, think about it, dude. Have you checked the onboard camera for the when you're on one of those, dude? Like, you've got to know you've got to know that track well, because
You're already thinking 3 corners ahead.
well, exactly. I mean, just take Monaco as an example. I mean, I don't understand how those guys can drive around there. You go on the onboard camera there, say for the pole winning lap, or whatever you want to call the pole setting lap. I mean, it's insane. I mean, the guys are already reacting before I even see the flipping corner coming.
I don't know how they do it in Monaco. I've walked that circuit a few times, and I've been there, and when the race is on, it's mental. The speeds that they're doing, you go wrong, mate. You're in the barriers that you can't actually. And they're so close to the ground, all they can see is barrier, and above the barrier is
sky. Yeah, or sky.
So you can't see what's coming ahead of you. You don't know what's around the next corner, and you're traveling at speed. So anybody who breaks down in the racing line, they haven't invariably don't have time to react.
I was watching, just talking about that. I was watching the practice yesterday. You cannot believe the reaction times that these guys have got, because what happened was they're at the Austrian circuit at the moment, and as you come round the last corner, just next to that is the entry to the pit lane.
Yeah.
Right. So what happened was a couple of the guys slowed down, like on the right-hand side of the track, but just at the pit lane, and one of the guys came round that last corner. And these guys were sitting there, literally standing still. I'm actually surprised this guy didn't plow into the back of them. But their reactions are just unbelievably
Yeah.
But what I didn't realize until I went to Monaco is they already know what they're doing before they hit those corners. They know exactly where they need to be. They know exactly what gear, what speed, where to brake. All of that stuff is already pre-programmed. So actual race day is about adapting to what's around you.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at the chicane by the swimming pool, and I didn't realize these guys fly through there. I mean, these wheels are not touching ground there. They ramp off the chicane, the little bit on the corner. They ramp off it to get the right line for the next one. So just through there, they don't have tires on the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Unbelievable,
Yeah. Anyway, let's not talk about that. Talking about motor cars. Today, on this day, Andre Citroën, he died. He died on this day in 1935. And so Citroën has been around for how long? I don't know. But certainly He was an engineer, businessman, and they did other things. It wasn't just cars. They were arms
Right.
manufacturers during the First World War. They did bicycles, candles, random stuff in his life.
Show it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Citroen's been around forever.
But it's quite interesting how those companies all started around there. Like BMW and Mercedes, they were making engines for airplanes before they made cars and motorcycles.
Or Lamborghini started on tractors.
Yeah, Lamborghini and tractors.
Well, they still make tractors, I think.
I think so, yeah. And Royal Enfield, they made guns, cannons.
Yes, that's right.
They
Yeah.
also made bicycles. Yeah, interesting, yeah, interesting.
So, a couple of things on today. Today is it's a few people's birthdays, including my sister. But also, today is Julian Assange's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Julian!
Do you know he's only a year older than us?
Oh, really? Just
Yeah.
he looks a lot older. So, any news on what's happening with him?
I haven't heard anything since we last spoke about it.
Yeah, since he last got capped. I mean, not capped, caught. Yeah, and
Do you
anything
think
else
it's going to
happening today?
be? You think it's going to be Epstein?
Yeah, Epstein.
Yeah.
Epstein or McAfee.
Possibly.
Did you guys
McAfee.
watch the documentary?
No,
No.
no.
You should give it a shot.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I will eventually.
There's another key birthday today.
Yes.
On this day, a certain Top Gun actor was born.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise's birthday today.
How old is he?
Well, this is what I was going to ask. How old do you think he is? Considering, in the latest Top Gun,
I'd
he's
say
actually in those jets doing the G-forces.
I
Does
don't
his
know.
own stunts in most movies.
56. 55, 56.
Oleg, how old is Tom Cruise?
He's busy Googling it.
I'm busy googling it.
That's cheating, man.
Tom Cruise has to be like 51.
Tom Cruise
51, 50, maybe 49.
on today.
no
is Tom
chance
Cruise's
that
birthday.
Tom Cruise
He
is 49.
turns 59 today.
Wow.
Oh my word.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he looks younger than Andrew.
He does. He looks younger than he looked in
So-
He looks younger than
10
me.
years ago.
Are you trying to
looks younger
suggest that
than
there's a
me.
correlation between having lots of money and your looks?
No, come on.
So
I
the
think there
uglier
is.
you are, the more, or the less money you have.
Guys, unfortunately, I got a duck.
Okay, no worries, dude. Okay, we got to end it up anyway.
Yeah.
It's been another
let's
good
do
one.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, and don't forget, today is National Compliment Your Mirror Day. So instead of every day
you
going, who's the
complimenting the
tiger,
mirror?
who's
Yeah.
looking good, you go,
Exactly.
mirror, this
Yeah.
is your day for all those moments.
Yeah.
The ones
On
that
that
make
note.
you look thinner and younger.
Yeah, so all we need to do is develop an app that runs on your mirror that makes you look thinner.
Guys, unfortunately, I got a split.
Okay,
I just need to
bye.
attend to something.
All right, matey.
Guys, have an awesome weekend and
No, you
enjoy
have
it.
an awesome weekend.
Oh, you guys have an awesome
No,
weekend.
yeah, and good luck for Ukraine. No.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.